Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. If you aren't new, you might notice a little bit something new in the background. I'm so excited to finally be revamping my beauty room, and Chad and I have been building this kind of wall structure, and I do have a new dresser that I'm going to put behind there. So it's still a work in progress. I am filming a little reel of how we put it all together. So if you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to do that because I'll be posting that in the next few days. I really like how it's coming together, but right now my room is an absolute mess and I'm just itching to organize it. I can't stand chaos like this. But anyways, today's video came about over the past few weeks when I realized I have been changing the way I do a few of my makeup steps. I do have one skincare step to talk about because man, the hormones are just raging and I'm getting older and things are changing as they do. And because the things are changing, I am needing to change how I do a few steps to accommodate. So I'm just here to share what I do because of that. I am 44 years old and just, again, I'm changing. Most of which is a lot of puffiness, a lot of crinkles where there didn't used to be crinkles, volume loss, just some things that I'm having to tweak. So these are 6 different things that I have been changing up. The first one, I have never used a dedicated eyeshadow primer before. I have always just used a concealer because I do have a lot of discoloration on my lids. So I will use a concealer to take down that discoloration and then go about my eyeshadow routine. Well, I, especially on this eye, have gotten a very deep, I call it a crinkle, but it's because my lids are starting to hood a little bit in certain places. And because of that, I was noticing when I just used a concealer, it would be very noticeable. Like it would settle into that area no matter whether I set it with powder or not. So I have started using a dedicated eyeshadow primer meant for smoothing out your lids, keeping things from creasing underneath my concealer. And the one that I'm using is the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour extended base or extended eye base. This is a very, 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 very smoothing formula and you need the absolute tiniest amount. I'm talking like not much at all. This thing will last me probably a year and I just pat it on top of my lids, let it dry for like a minute to kind of settle down, and then I will go over with concealer to kind of get rid of any discoloration because this does not have a tint to it. It is clear. And I have found it helps so much with things not sinking into that one distinct crevice, which I know are just gonna become multiple crevices and start happening on this eye as well the older I get. So I've just found that this step has been making a major difference. Another thing I have really been having to concentrate on are my under eyes. They are really starting to age a little bit faster than the rest of my face. And I do take care of them skincare wise. And I still think they look really decent as compared to what I know they could look like. However, I have been noticing that I really need to change up my concealer game, whether it be, now I say change up, let me take that back. I need to be consistent in my concealer game to where I use lightweight concealers. And when I say lightweight, I'm talking my MAC Studio Radiance Concealer and my Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. Those are the 2 lightest weight concealers that still provide coverage and wear really well. However, I have a ton of concealers that I do not want to waste. So what I have found is by taking a concealer brush onto the doe foot of a concealer and just lightly tapping it as I show in the demo, and then taking that amount and that amount only to the darkest areas of my under eye and blending out is really helping me control the amount of product that I use under my eyes, which in turn makes my under eyes look better. So I'm not having to just stick to my lightest weight concealers. I'm able to use my collection and still get good results by controlling how much I use. Even taking a doe foot and putting 1 dot is more than I'm using if I pick it up with a brush very lightly from the doe foot. So I find that doing that is a great way to help my under eyes look the best they can with concealer on. Step number 3 is using lip liner more. I have never been a lip liner user. I use it all the time on my clients, but for myself, I haven't really felt the need to. And while I don't necessarily feel I have to, it definitely looks better when I wear a lip liner, whether I'm wearing it with gloss, lipstick, clear gloss, it doesn't matter. In the demo, I am using the Jones Road lip pencil in the color Nudist. I don't need it to be a ton darker than my lip color. I don't want it to be, honestly. I just want it to kind of blend in once I put my lipstick or lip gloss on. I don't want it to be noticeable, but I need it to give a little bit more plumpness to my lips. I feel like as we age, I know that as we age, we lose volume in our face, and that includes our lips. So kind of tweaking and faking that volume with a lip liner has made a big difference in my lipstick, lip gloss game lately. The next step is something that I have been doing for the past couple months, and I really do feel like it makes a difference. And that's incorporating 2 powders into my routine. And there is a reason that I find this makes a difference as I get older. My skin is getting a little bit drier, especially this time of year. So when I use a more mattifying, maybe loose powder, I like to keep it in my T-zone with a powder puff, really targeting the center of my face where I don't want any shine, but not using those types of powders all over my face as much anymore has made a difference in just the overall look of my skin. So I will choose to use a more luminous powder everywhere else, or at least one that's not necessarily matte. And I will use something like my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Press Powder, which is definitely very luminous, but not too luminous on my skin right now. And the reason I don't want that in the middle of my face is because I still don't want that part of my face luminous. So I find that choosing my powders based on the finish and using 2 just makes my skin look better. The final step for makeup, before I talk about the one skincare step, is not wearing anything under my eyes in the form of eye makeup. I have found lately, the more and more that I forego bottom lash mascara and bottom liner or shadow, it just makes me look fresher, more awake, which to me equals a little more youthful. I'm not talking 15 years younger. I don't want to be 15 years younger. I love being 44, okay? I don't want anybody to think that I am saying otherwise. I love my 40s. I look forward to my 50s because I feel like it's going to be even better. But there's little tweaks that we can make to just make us look a little bit fresher. And I feel like foregoing stuff on the bottom lash line lately has been doing that. So today I don't have anything underneath. The only con with doing that is that sometimes, because I have a lot of crinkle and creases right under my lash line, which most of us do, it is a good way to kind of hide that. But I also find that using my concealer technique, I don't have that issue as much. So while I am not saying I'm gonna get rid of smoking out my lower lash line or using bottom lash mascara, because I still do 75% of the time, but I do feel like if I just feel puffy or if I feel tired looking, doing that makes a huge difference. And then finally, going along the puffy and tired looking, I have been so puffy lately. I have not changed anything in my diet. I still drink a ton of water every day. I really just think it's hormones, and it's especially around my eyes that I feel the puffiest. So I have really been leaning into lymphatic drainage more now than I used to. And I don't have a cutaway of me using this. I'm gonna be talking more about one of these products in the coming weeks on how I like to use them for lymphatic drainage, but I will go between either my gua sha, which I don't even know how long I've had this. I didn't spend much money on them. You can get them for super cheap from Amazon. In fact, I have another stainless steel one on its way to me that's a little bit bigger. You can go on YouTube and find a ton of gua sha routines. Try to find someone that's you feel is a little bit more reputable, because there are some wrong ways to do it. I don't envision it can mess up your face, but you're not gonna get the best results unless you do it properly. And I will just take this along my jawline. I always make sure to bring it down my neck to actually drain that lymphatic fluid. I will hold my skin taut and go all the way across my cheek. I will go under my eye very gently. I will go over my eye and under my brow, and then I will pull it up my forehead. It takes no time at all. I do 10 passes everywhere I just showed you, and I can still get done with both sides of my face in like 3 or 4 minutes. You can definitely do longer sessions if you want to. I do this in the morning with a cleansing oil and then just rinse the cleansing oil off because you do need a little bit of slip. Another way I have used lymphatic drainage is using my zip, which I'm gonna be talking about more in a week or two. But I don't have to do anything special with this. I don't have to hold my skin taut. I really just use it like it's supposed to be used, and it does help really kind of snatch the face and drain lymphatic fluid. And doing that, you can see a visible result doing one side of the face from the other in the reduction of puffiness. You're just washing all that fluid away, and in doing that, you're less puffy and you just, your face just looks better, fresher, more rejuvenated. I have been having to do that a lot more lately than I ever have in the past, but it is making a big difference and it's totally worth the time that it takes. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, just 6 quick steps of things that I have changed and have felt like have made a difference in the aging process that I am very blessed to go through. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will have everything I talked about listed and linked down below in the description box. I will see you in my next video, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.